I know what you're thinking. Who is this guy to tell us what the pros are doing right and wrong? Well, I'll have you know, I happen to be an NCAA national champion and also got a set off Rafael Nadal. Well, not really, indirectly. I have a friend, Ryler, who went on to become the national champion and got a set off Rafael Nadal. And I beat him when I was 17 and he was 11. Anyway, so yeah, same thing. Let's go over what the problem is. And by the way, there's a good chance that you have this problem. And I'm going to show you some ways to fix it. So go ahead and watch these couple points and tell me what you think the problem is. The tricky thing about this problem is it doesn't actually become a problem until you reach a certain level in tennis. The ball has to reach a critical mass before this starts getting exposed, say a 4.0 player or maybe your 6 or 7 UTR. But the problem to me is clear as day. The player gets a backhand and they run around it and get a forehand. And I know what you're thinking, Coach Jeff, that's crazy. Tennis is all about getting the inside out forehand. Well, I hear you. And I'm not saying you shouldn't run around your backhand to hit with the forehand. I'm just saying you better darn well be sure that you're forcing with it. Otherwise, all you're doing is taking yourself out of position when you could be staying closer to the middle and taking the ball earlier with the backhand. If you don't think a couple steps closer to the middle makes a difference at high-level tennis, well, you might want to think again. And there's other problems associated with over-prioritizing your forehand. For example, when you return a body serve, are you opting to take the forehand, pulling yourself further out of the court, or are you willing to step to your right and hit a backhand where you're more inside the court, for a righty of course? And I'll often see players just end up getting crossed up with their legs and end up having to hit a backhand off balance. It's because they're first looking for the forehand and then settling for the backhand, when they first should be looking to default to the backhand, then if they can, hit a forehand. It's actually not that surprising that the inside-out forehand has become so overrated. There's just not that many good developmental coaches out there to tell you, hey look, you don't have to teach people to run around their backhand. They want to do it anyway.
Again, one, backhand, no, start with the backhand.
Everybody wants to do it. It's natural to not want to hit your backhand. I even see players who have a better backhand still run around it to hit the forehand. You can hit a little harder, but also the brain just relates best to your dominant palm. Whether you're opening a doorknob or picking up a drink, that's how you're going to be most comfortable hitting the ball. Okay, so you're a forehand fiend. What do you do now? Well, the goal is to make it so that you default to the backhand. So just make sure you're training cross-court backhands just as much as you're training cross-court forehands. Maybe play a set where you have one rule that you're not going to run around your backhand at all to help reprogram yourself. Remember, the idea is to default to the backhand. After all, the ball that you're supposed to run around on is the ball you have time to say, hey, I should run around and hit a forehand. Also, just make sure you're practicing perfect. When you do work on your forcing shots, make sure that you're not too far back and too far to the backhand side when practicing your inside-out forehand. So look, am I telling you to not run around your backhand? No, that's not the case at all. What I am telling you is that when Novak Djokovic won the 2023 Australian Open, he definitely hit more forehands than he did backhands. But he also hit 92 more backhands than his opponents combined to win the title. If you liked the video, I think there's a button for that. Also, consider subscribing, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.